a fitness and nutrition expert. So I train everybody, I cook for them, I clean out their refrigerators, I clean out their pantries, and I also develop recipes. I started about 20 years ago. A friend of mine dragged me into Gold's Venice, kicking and screaming. I didn't want to do it. He took me in just to try to help me feel better emotionally. I was always extremely thin. And I went inside, and within 2 weeks, the workout bug bit me big time. And that's at a time where there weren't any trainers at all. The first one was Julia Roberts. I worked with her for I Love Trouble. I actually went away on location, and that's the first celebrity I started cooking for out of sheer boredom. And she loved the food so much, she kept asking me to cook for her every day. From that, I was hired by Winona Ryder to train her for Alien Resurrection, did all her food. Jennifer Lopez, Kevin Costner. I did 2 films with Kevin Costner. I did For Love of the Game and Message on a Bottle. And he was the first person that actually hired me to do all of his food and all of his training. And then For Love of the Game, they also had me train Kelly Preston at the same time. But I've worked with Steven Spielberg, Angelica Houston, I'm working with Halle Berry right now, Jennifer Love Hewitt. I'm looking around the gym. I get lost in my words and names, but almost every A-lister you can think of I've worked with. Well, David actually came to me with a specific goal in mind, and that was to sculpt out for this film. And he was also playing a dancer, so he wanted to look the role. And David's a pro. That's the great thing about actors. David is included in this. They're so professional because this is their job. This is what they have to do, and they know that there's 1,000 people in line waiting for that same opportunity. So David, also having an athletic background, he's an athlete. It's very easy to train. We did a lot of jump rope, a lot of stuff to keep his heart rate up, to get him to burn and sculpt and tone. And he did a great job. I gave him a nutrition plan to follow also, and I saw immediate results with him. The $1,000,000 question is, how fast can we get someone in shape? Obviously, the more time we have, the better it is. The more, the better the genetics of the star, the easier it is. By that I mean, do they have a good muscle base? Have they ever worked out before? You need a good 6 weeks to see any change in the body. Healthy weight loss is 1 to 3 pounds a week, believe it or not. It's really not a lot if you think about it in the big picture of things. With actors, though, since I can stay with them on location one-on-one and monitor all their food, I can get it off a lot faster. Again, it depends on the client. I can get as much as 7 to 10 pounds off someone in a week. So I've had as much as 6 to 10 weeks to prepare someone, and I've had as little as 2 weeks. When I worked with Kelly Preston, I didn't know I was going to train her. They brought her on. She just finished another film. She was exhausted, and we had to start the next day. However, again, she was a pro. What is it I need to do? I hate it, but I'm going to do it. Yes, when training for a film, it's extremely intense, and we really need a good 6 days a week. It's a short time frame. It's every single day, if schedule will allow. That's easier, too, when I'm on location and I have no one else to think about and I'm catering to that one client, then that's what we're going to do. And even with Kelly and Kevin, we were training twice a day. Hour, 2 hours. 45 minutes to an hour of weightlifting, followed with another hour of aerobic activity, and depending on that client, maybe twice a day. Yes, absolutely. And again, it depends on that person and a customized formula we have to come up with, whether it's a woman that wants to lean out, lighter weights, higher reps, or does she need to bulk up, as we had with Winona Ryder and Alien Resurrection, and that was like, Winona Ryder's so tiny, how are we going to do that? But we did it. We did the best we could with her. So my philosophy with nutrition is not to eliminate one food group from your diet. And if you look back at dieting, it was no carb, all carbs, no fat, low fat, high protein, no protein. And it's crazy. It's a balance of lean proteins, complex carbohydrates, and essential fats. However, if I am on set with someone, and I go back to Kelly Preston a lot because it was very last minute, I can take 2 weeks max and deplete a lot of their simple white carbs and only give them a small amount of complex carbohydrates. By eliminating carbs from our daily food intake, we have no energy. By eliminating fats, what's going to happen to our hair, skin, and nails? So we want a combination. However, like I said, and I use caution when I say this because it can only be done short term, we're going to deplete a lot of carbohydrates out of someone's meal plan, short term for a movie. Complex carbohydrates are things like oatmeal, whole grain, high fiber toast, brown rice, barley, so anything that's grainy. And people need to also learn, it's confusing to the consumer when you shop, but just because bread says it's whole wheat bread doesn't mean it's high grain and whole fiber.
Right.
So you need to really read the label, and they try to confuse us as much as possible. But if we take all that out of our diet and we don't have it, where's our energy during the day? So it's really important. And then you can get simple carbohydrates also from fruit. I don't believe there's any perfect diet. I don't believe in dieting. The word die is in diet.
Right.
And the definition of diet is short-term rapid weight loss. So we all want it rapid, but we don't want it to be short-term. To answer that question, Atkins, a healthy version of Atkins is very close to what I practice and I recommend.
Okay.
And that's eliminating all saturated fats. And any protein that comes from an animal has saturated fat and cholesterol in it. So it's about eating less meat and the type of meats that you eat to have a perfect balance. And again, the type of carbohydrates that you eat. When Atkins first came out, there was no carbs at all the fat you want, bacon, steak, just no breads at all. And that's, again, you're eliminating one food group. So then they made it healthier because they were really criticized for it a lot. And it's a great balance. But again, I go back to moderation, and just as long as you're active and you eat a great blend of foods, then you can have those little cheats on the weekend or whenever your day is off, because life is too short to not have pizza. Well, I think we all need to take supplements, a multivitamin and multimineral. We can't get enough supplements from Whole Foods. It's just not possible. Same thing with fiber. When it comes to weight loss pills, I don't believe in them. They're usually caffeine or ephedrine. Just look at all the things that they're taking off the market now. People have died from heart failure, and there's a really unhealthy ways to lose weight. And again, it's people looking for a quick fix and not wanting to do the work. There's no getting around it. Your body was meant to be worked. And we go back to the Roman times, the Egyptian times, and we look at bodies, and we even look at their diet. People have fluctuated a lot during workout. Absolutely, yes. And thrown up, but it's part of it. Even just being a gym owner, for years, not even my client, it's just walking around. And when you exert, unfortunately, I think men might know this better than women, but it's something that's natural and happens. So yes, Joe, it has happened. Well, I have to say it just depends on the situation. If someone doesn't notice, I guess it's the whole thing of, okay, let's just not say anything and ignore it. However, I have learned as a mature female that there's something funny about flatulence, and people just laugh, and it's hard to not laugh. So if it's noticeable, I'm probably going to turn red and blush, and I'm going to laugh right along. I've had it happen, but I know my nickname is Miss Pencil. I try to stay as professional as I can, and I will say some of the men I've worked with, I constantly refer to them as boss, and I've done that for a reason. Hey boss, just to remind them that I work for them and not to even think about anything else. I'm lucky. Prima donna clients, I understand, in film business run rampant and are crazy. And I won't mention names, but I've worked with several females that have quite that reputation, and I haven't had the issue with them. And I believe it's because when someone comes to me, or I don't believe, I know this has to be true, they have to let go. The second that door opens, they come in, they have to let go of any of that stuff. Because if they bring it in, how am I going to train them? And again, they're professional, they're pros. So how am I going to train someone that walks in with an attitude and that becomes a diva and has to do this? Now, I've witnessed it outside of my realm, but I've been really fortunate and I haven't had to deal with that. I developed, after working with Joe, I had gotten so much press for cooking for her as long as training that Crunch Gym actually came to me years ago and asked if I could develop a line of healthy fast food for their juice bars. They make so much money just off of protein drinks alone, it's crazy. So I developed the line, never worked in Crunch. I went into Gold's Hollywood, it was my very first line. And now gyms have juice bars, and people are looking for food besides protein bars and water. So here's where we start, Bolt Hollywood. I developed a line of wraps, and I call it just healthy fast food to go, healthy grab and go. We put it in a nice container so you can throw it in your gym bag. And what this is an organic tortilla made just for me. It's whole wheat, it's clean, it's a great source of complex carbs. And inside, this is a Southwest chicken breast wrap. So I use canola mayo, chicken breast, and a lot of veggies inside. So you've got, again, the blend that I keep talking about of lean proteins, complex carbs, and essential fats, and healthy grab to go. I make about 6 different wraps. I'm in my kitchen right now producing for Halle Berry and Steven Spielberg and Gabriel. They love this stuff. I'm working on stuff for Halle's daughter also. So I have found my niche as far as healthy fast food, and it still doesn't exist. And I'm talking to a couple of major retailers right now, and we've learned that I can freeze it and ship it all over the world. So I'm really excited about it. And then yesterday I cooked for a girl that's a vegetarian, and so I took the product and I just ripped it apart and I used tofu in it. And it's funny because they end up being these like precious, my assistant and I are walking around like, who's gonna get this one? And people are just dying for them. So it's pretty exciting. And I'm really excited about the nutrition part of what I do. So one of those important things is to warm up for your workout. So let's go ahead and start pedaling. There you go. And this is an elliptical. It's a great machine. There's no impact, and you can adjust the tension. You can also adjust how high your step is, depending on how much you want to work your glutes, back and forth. But it's always important to elevate your heart rate before you start working out, so then we can stretch so that there's no injuries. It's just grab hold of something and turn one at a time to help you open up. Also stretching your bicep. And again, with your stretches, you never want to bounce, you never want to force your body, and time will. So you can do that there, can't you?
Right.
You can't, you're just going to do it up high.
No.
So other people have those problems too, so no worries.
Okay.
So there's many different ways to do a squat, most people do it wrong. So here's how I take my beginners, right here. Pretend that you don't have to sit down, okay? So there it is. So it's butt first. So feet, shoulders, and out, and here I go. Push, I'm going to sit down. So, see that? So it's like a lever, you're folding. There you go, and look down. Notice your knees are not over your toes. Now when you did it for me, your knees are way out here. So that's really dangerous. So that will also help, yeah. So just push back, butt first, and then come back up. And squeeze your tush without walking. And so back. So you can use this with the Smith. The bar is here, and up you go. Okay, and push back again. And really make sure with the Smith, because you've got a lot of weight probably, but you don't lock your knees. All right, so I can also do this that way. Little baby dumbbells to the side, little bigger to the front. Try it, let's try it. Yeah, see, so because you push that booty all the way back. See? So many different ways, again, seated, standing. You've got some big arms, so this is a little more weight. Let's try it. Have you ever done 21? You know what 21 is?
Yeah.
7 long.
Okay.
Well, there's many different ways. Let's do this one. Do 7 long, and then 7 right under your pecs,
Okay.
and then 7 to your belly button. But again, it's just always doing something different to shock the muscles. And you know by going in a big gym, now that's why there's so many different machines, dumbbells, cables, anything you can do. You should really switch up your routine every 6 weeks. Your body's that intelligent.
Do you do more machine weight to tone up, or free weight to get bulk?
It's not one or the other for toning or bulk. You can bulk or tone on either one. It's about how the weight is distributed. Usually on a machine, you've got the cable so that there's what's the word I'm looking for? There's resistance both ways. This, you've got to control it down, or gravity's going to pull it down. And that's where weight-bearing exercise, that's the whole point, against gravity. So it really doesn't make any difference. You have to work a little bit harder with dumbbells because you've got to balance and control them. You can't cheat it with the machine.
Right.
Whereas a machine you can't. So it doesn't matter bulk or tone on one or the other. Toning is always lightweight, high reps.
Would you tell people, I've heard this, to do their cardio first thing in the morning on an empty stomach? Is that the best way to burn the most amount of fat?
This is what people say. They feel that if they work out on an empty stomach, they're going to burn the fat from the night before. Not true. You've got to have some fuel. Now I know I'm guilty of this too. I wake up in the morning, I have some coffee, I'm not hungry, and I want to do my aerobics. You really need to have some fuel, and particularly most of those people are going to finish and then they're going to lift. So a little bit of yogurt, a piece of banana, a half a bagel with maybe some fruit spread will be something really good to have, just to give you a little bit of fuel. Otherwise you come in, you're going to lose you about halfway through your workout, whether it's you're on your own or you're with your trainer. And then after, you want to have a salad with some protein or some oats with some protein. You want a nice big meal with a blend of carbohydrates, proteins, and fat. Sure. Again, my name is Nancy Kennedy, and come and check out my website. It's Nancy, Nancy, F as in fitness, Kennedy.com. You'll get all my tips, recipes. You can even get on my mailing list for free, and any more information I can help you out with.